It's the Guitar Dads. It's the Guitar Dads.
Welcome to the Guitar Dads Podcast, a podcast for guitar dads by guitar dads. This week, roll out the red carpet, call the paparazzi, and get your gowns and tuxes on. It's the Daddies! Will you agree with our awards, or will it just slap you in the face? This week on the Guitar Dads Podcast. Now, the dudes who have really never won anything, Matt and Dave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Matt.
And I'm Dave, and welcome to the pod episode. Oh, man, what episode is this? 95?
This is 94.
94.
And
Sorry.
this is going to be our first episode that drops in 2023.
Yes.
But this is the 2022 Daddies. Hold for the applause track I'm going to put in. Okay, there it is.
Oh, there it goes. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody.
Yes, and thank you to our loyal listeners and those of you who might be new listening to this today, or wherever the heck you are, whatever time it is. You know where you can always find us on Instagram at Guitar Dads Podcast, in our private Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast there. Come join the antics. No questions asked. We just let you in. We'll kick you out if we have to, but we just let you in otherwise. And
That's right.
A lot of fun over there.
We'll kick you out.
Having a lot of good time.
If you want to come in and cause trouble, we will kick you out. But
we will kick you out. Well, it depends. If it's good trouble.
You're innocent until you do something bad. So there you go.
That's right.
Well,
so anyway, how are we going to do this?
How are we
just
going to
get right
Dave?
into this?
Well, the Daddies, yes. For those of you that don't know what the Daddies are, it's our annual award show. This is the second annual Daddies Guitar Dad Awards, and we don't do all gear on this. We basically get into all kinds of musical stuff that we talk about on this podcast a lot. It's basically like the Guitar Dad's list of favorite things for 2022.
Yes.
So there you go. This isn't crowdsourced or anything like that. Maybe we'll get to the point in future years where this can be like a crowdsourced thing. But until then, it's sourced by us, the Guitar Dads.
And if you don't like our opinions, well, hey, it's a free country. Send us comments. Let us know.
Yeah.
Seriously, this stuff is up for debate, people, because there was so much great music and so much great gear and stuff that came out in 2022. There's just way too much to cover. And so exactly, I think that if we try to kind of condense it into this little list, we're going to miss something. So we're sure that some of you are going to come back and say that, what about this band or this pedal or this guitar, whatever. So yeah, let us know. Yeah. We'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely let us know. Like I said, I think in the future it would probably be a little more fun if it was crowdsourced from all of you. But at the same time, then it gets pretty unruly. So, this is kind of like Dave and I have kind of pained over this for the last couple of weeks, trying to think through all of our favorite stuff of the year, things like our favorite albums, our favorite songs, our favorite live show we saw, and stuff like that. So, we've really thought through everything we've done over the past year. We've been kind of retrospectively looking back, and now here's our picks.
Here it is. And if we make it through this show and both of us still have voices, that's going to be a damn miracle.
We're both recovering from pretty terrible sicknesses that have swept through around the holidays.
Yep.
So, here we are.
Anyway, well, we hope you've had a healthy and hoppy too. Yeah, if you're drinking beer.
Hoppy. If you're drinking a hoppy beer like I am,
have a happy holiday season. Yeah, and let's get to it.
Let's do it. And Happy New Year from the Guitar Dads as well.
Yeah.
If you're listening to
absolutely.
You're listening to this, the New Year has passed. We're recording this on December 30th. But, the New Year's among us. So Happy New Year from the Guitar Dads. All right, Dave, let's get into it. Here we go. The Daddies. Hold for applause. All right. All right, what's our first category, Dave?
I don't know. What do you want to get into first? There's a lot of good stuff. And I think kind of like the Oscars do it, we can't really jump into like the big ones first, right? So should we start with maybe best newly discovered guitar dad band, or do you want to go into?
I like that. I like that one. Yes.
Or best guitar YouTube video of 2022.
You know what? Let's do. That's a new category added this year. I mean, a lot of people like to rank gear. They like to rank artists and albums, and we're going to do that too. But not a lot of people talk about YouTube videos that we all, as guitar dads and guitar obsessed people in general, watch a lot of. When you think about how much YouTube we all probably collectively watch, it's a lot.
It's a ton.
It's a ton. So I figured, so what we tried to do is go through the best, think about the YouTube videos over the course of this year that maybe cause a little bit of a stir online, or maybe that we just really enjoyed, see how it goes. So here we are for.
Here are the nominations
and
for the best guitar. Go ahead.
No, I was going to.
I'm interrupting.
Yeah, you read the nominations in a second, but these are single videos. Well, in one case, I refer to as a series of videos, but I'm not talking about like best channel or anything like that. Maybe we should do that in the future too. This is like
That'd be tough.
Singular, or like maybe a series of specific videos. Now,
pardon me as I clear my throat.
With that said, the nominees for Best Guitar YouTube Video of 2022, according to the Guitar Dads. Here we go.
All right. Paul David's String Shootout.
Ooh.
Gibson, The Collection /
Ooh.
Jim Lill, Where Does Tone Come From? In a Speaker Cab. And pretty much the whole series of Where Does Tone Come From videos. Jared Dines' Ultimate Shred Collab. And the JHS Pedals recent video about the Kemper profiles that he's using.
Yeah, that's right. So,
a late entry this year.
But
it did squeeze into 2022.
It caused such a stir that we had to bring it up. So anyway, Dave, what do you think about this list of nominees? Do you want to narrow it down to your top? How do you want to do this?
We have to, geez, wow.
Yeah, you're
pardon me to the listeners.
You're a mess.
We have to explain to our listeners that have never heard the Daddies before this isn't like, rip the envelope open, there's a winner, Matt and I agree. In fact, sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, that's good. So we'll kind of talk about stuff as we go.
That's right.
But this is a tough list. I think there's a lot of cool stuff. I think the Shred collab was like super cool.
Yeah.
I think what Josh Scott did with the Kemper Pro, I just thought that was hysterical. I thought it was great.
The whole thing was amazing.
The whole thing was brilliant.
Yeah.
And of course, you and I, and we talked about this and we love it. That was the Gibson, the collection with Slash. I thought that was unbelievable too. This is a really tough category. I'm going to, of course, have to give it to the collection and Slash.
Oh, so I thought Dave was going to say something else, because Dave knows that's going to be towards the top of my list. So maybe this isn't going to be that hard of a category as
this is what happened last year.
But let's talk a little bit about these other ones. So the JHS thing, I just thought was hilarious. So for those of you that maybe not be in the know on this, what ended up happening, if those of you that know about JHS, you know about this, but for those of you who aren't familiar with the JHS channel, Josh Scott has a amazing YouTube channel with great shows where he does all kinds of different things. He kind of goes into history of different kinds of pedals and talks about these pedals, and then gives you like a demo of the pedals that he has.
Yep.
And what he always uses for these in the demos on his channel is this JHS Loud is More Good amp, which is made by Milkman Amps, which is a great, like, just clean pedal platform in the style of like a Fender, like Princeton or something like that. But it's even like kind of cleaner than that from what I understand. So it's like a pedal platform amp, and he always has this thing on camera when he's playing through the pedals. And then what he did is he comes up with this video a couple of weeks ago basically saying, oh yeah, well, we profiled that and we've been using a Kemper profile of that amp for like the past year or so. And so, and he's selling he's giving away the Kemper profile of that amp, I think, for free. And he also did like an IR of it through for Helixes. So he basically like turned the world, like this pedal world, on its head by doing this. So I thought it was amazing. And the video is just hilarious how he does it, because he did it up like he has to go into hiding because everybody's going to come after him.
Yeah, there was like this big confession and
so
all
he was
stuff.
eating all these canned meats. It was It was pretty good. So, I mean, I love that. So for me, that was like right up there, which is classic stuff for YouTube. I do want to call out Jim Lill, like Jim Lill, who's a guy I've actually been following on YouTube for a long time. Amazing kind of country player, like telly player, but just an amazing musician in general. He came out with this series of videos this year. If you haven't seen them, go check them out. They're incredible. He really gets into detail of where does a tone come from in a speaker cab, in a guitar. A lot of these are controversial too, because he basically shows like, you don't really need a wood guitar as a body. You can just have a pickup and it's going to sound good, which I don't 100% agree with, because he didn't really do it. But then he did, where does the tone come from in the guitar? And he compared all kinds of different guitars. I thought he did a really good job. The speaker cab one I thought was the most compelling, because he did this really close shootout and actually constructed his own cab according to the specs. So it's definitely a cool thing to check out for sure. But anyway, I think all these are great if you haven't seen them. But yeah.
So what's your pick?
So the reason why I'm going to go with Gibson the Collection Slash is because it's these are a couple of reasons. One, it's the longest interview I think Slash has given in I don't know when, a very, very long time. He usually has very quick interviews like on Eddie Trunk, 10-minute thing, 20-minute things. This was like an hour-long thing, and it was an interview with Slash. Not only was it an interview with Slash, but it was an interview with Slash talking about his gear and guitars. So, for people that are fans of Slash like we are, it doesn't get any better than that. So the fact that Gibson was able to pull this off. And the other thing that I think we really have to shout out for the collection is that they don't just do, it's a Gibson thing. It's done by Mark Agnesi at Gibson. But they don't just focus on the Gibson guitars. They talk about the collection that they have. So, they'll pull out Strats. Slash obviously doesn't have a lot of Strats, but for those of you that know Slash, he does play the BC Riches. They talked a lot about BC Riches. They talked about his most famous guitar, which is a number one guitar of Slash that he continues to call out as his number one guitar, which is the Derrig, the Chris Derrig Les Paul copy that he recorded Appetite for Destruction with. So they go into detail about that. It's just an amazing video if you're into Slash. Even if you're not, the stuff is just so cool. So anyway, I think that just has to win. It's kind of like obvious, but I don't know. I think it has to win. So there you go.
Yeah. All right. There we go. All right. So the winner for Best Guitar YouTube Video of 2022 goes to Gibson the Collection Slash.
Oh, yay.
All right.
Yay. Congratulations. All right. Next
Keep
category.
the speech short, please. Thanks. All right. Next category. What do you want to do? Do you want to get into we doing Best Newly Discovered Guitar Dad Band?
Yeah, Best Newly Discovered Guitar Dad Band. So a little bit about this.
So how this category works?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a brand new band.
No.
But we added a couple bands in here that in 2022 we kind of just we came across a couple of these and really got into them. Although I think one of them on this list was not 22. I think we knew about them in 21. So, but anyway, they put out some great music in 22, and they've been around for a while. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, actually a couple of them, but it's a good list. So, shall I read the nominations? All right.
The nominees are,
The LA Maybe.
Ooh.
And those of you who don't know any of these bands, just Google them and
check
you're going to come
out.
across.
We won't talk about them all
check
that
them out,
much because it would take up the whole podcast. But
they're the LA Maybe, unbelievable, great. We had a great interview with Dallas Dwight, the lead guitarist and lyricist for the band.
Lead guitarist and songwriter for the band.
Songwriter, yeah.
Yep.
The
lyricist and songwriter. He writes
and songwriter.
Pretty much is the main guy. He's kind of like a
main guy. Yeah,
it's kind of like a Pete Townsend in that band. So
yeah. So we had him on the pod a few months ago. Great interview. Go back and listen to that. But anyway, that's not why they're on the list. All right. Also,
it might be. If you're on the podcast, you automatically get a leg up. Come on.
Yeah, and I got the shirt on. So anyway.
Yeah.
Mammoth WVH, that's of course Wolfgang Van Halen's band, which is pretty much, the recorded stuff is pretty much just him playing everything, which is
awesome.
freaking
amazing.
And the band, his touring band is just unreal. Anyway, moving on. A band we've talked about a lot on this podcast, the New Roses. This is a rock band out of Germany, and they've been around for a while. little while.
But we
few
discovered
years.
them in 2022, didn't we?
But we discovered them
Yeah.
in 2022. Actually, I think late 2021. But anyway, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, all right.
But they're unbelievable. Thunder Pussy making the list here. We discovered them, I think, over the last year, last winter. I think it was.
It was definitely 2022.
Yeah, these women are incredible.
Oh,
Go check
awesome,
Thunder Pussy out.
All female band, just kicking ass.
And of course, a favorite of the show, and we love the guitarist of this band. He's been on the podcast as well. Is Robert John and the Wreck.
Yes. No, again,
they're great.
I think that's a band we technically discovered in 2021, but we got Henry on the podcast in I think March of 22. So it qualifies for newly discovered guitar dad band.
Yes.
So I don't know, Dave. Why don't you give me your top two?
All right, this is a really tough category
It's a hard
for
one
me.
for me.
Damn, this is hard. I'm gonna put I have to put the LA Maybe on there.
Yeah.
And that's also why I have the shirt on. I definitely have to put them on there because I just thought when we first heard them, it was just like mind blown. It was crazy, and it was a band that you couldn't just not listen to. And of course, oh man, this is really tough. This is tough.
I know this is a tough one.
And I'm gonna give it to. I'm gonna also say my top two is Robert John and the Wreck because I just think the stuff that Henry's doing is just absolutely killer guitar stuff. I just and if you're not familiar with that band, go check them out. They're killer too. I love the New Roses. I'm a huge fan. I'm a big fan of Mammoth. We saw Mammoth on the Dirty Honey on the Young Guns tour with Dirty Honey this past winter. But then my top two, I'd say LA Maybe and Robert John and the Wreck.
Oh man. So this is going to be tough because those are basically my top two as well. And it has everything to do that we know members of these bands now because they were on the podcast and they're just all around great guys and great players and just really fun people to talk to. So, that definitely gives them a leg up, to try to choose.
Oh, see, for me, I don't even factor that
in. Oh, really?
in.
Because when you listen to these guys play on the album and then you actually talk to them and you get insights into what they were doing, not to take anything away from the other bands. It'd be amazing to talk to Wolfgang or the New Roses guy or the Thunder Pussy women. It'd be amazing. So not to take anything away from them because what they're doing is kick ass, but I think we got to know a little bit more about these other two bands.
Yes.
By having these kind of extended interviews with the guitar players, and in the case of LA, maybe the real leader of the band. So, I don't know. This is a hard decision, Dave. Oh man.
This is a tough category.
Oh geez.
Why did you have to do this?
I know. Why did I do this to us? I don't know, Dave.
All right, you go. Let's hear it. Spit it out. Give it up. The fans are waiting.
I'm gonna get. You know what? I'm gonna be controversial, Dave. You're gonna think I'm gonna go the other way.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go with Robert John and the Wreck.
Oh, okay. You are gonna be a little controversial.
And the reason why is because I think they just have like a larger. The LA Maybe really just got going, and I think they're a band to watch. But I think Robert John and the Wreck, you can see, you can go and listen to their catalog. They got a few albums out. And they just got this really large catalog of music already. Even as
they just put out their 8th studio album. Right? Yeah,
exactly. So they've been, even though we just discovered them, they've been at it for a while, and they just have a real kind of eclectic mix of stuff. And I think the LA Maybe is going to be there, no problem. But if I had to, like today, right now, I'm gonna go with Robert John and the Wreck as a band, like a guitar dad's band. You got to check out. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't think of it the way you're thinking of it, but I do agree with you in a sense, but I am going to stick with my original pick.
Okay. So what do we
I'm going to stick with the
So what
LA
do we
Maybe.
do? What do we do with the tiebreaker?
It's a tiebreaker. So what we're going to end up having to do is just a tie.
It's a tie. All right. Well, there you have it. A tie. It's a 2-way tie between the LA Maybe.
Yeah.
What
we didn't talk about what we do with ties.
Yeah. I think we put them out to the listeners, but it's kind of too late for that now. So just put it in the comments what you guys think gets the leg up between those two bands.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
I mean, I'm happy.
I'll be posting this stuff online, so you guys.
But
can
I'm happy
chime in.
I'm happy to say, it's a tie between these. Dave and I don't have a tiebreaker, so that's just the way it's going to have to be if we're at,
we'll leave it as a
we're at
tie.
loggerheads here. But anyway,
All right,
so
next
there you go.
category. What are we doing? What's
Let's go to-
this is getting good.
Let's go to which one do we want to leave for the last ones? I would say
I think probably albums you want to leave for last.
albums. So let's do best singles
Or best show. Do you want to do best show?
I would
we
say
saw for
show.
last?
Well, I think that's probably I think show and album is the last one. So let's go to the best song, the best single song.
Best single song.
Yeah.
In 2022, according to the Guitar Dads, the LA Maybe, Down to Fight.
Yes.
Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9.
Ooh.
Hailstorm, Back from the Dead. Another Hailstorm, The Steeple. And Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, The River is Rising. Ooh, another tough category.
Now you got me coughing. Jeez.
Everybody's coughing.
Don't cough into the mic. Jesus. That's my fault.
Soul coughing.
Soul Coughing. Yeah, it's a great band. Anyway, what do you think here? So,
It's tough. I can right now knock out a couple of these.
oh no.
Yeah, I can knock out a couple. I'm gonna knock out. I love. First of all, let me just say all these songs are incredible. Okay, but if you're gonna say best, okay, I'm gonna knock out Patient Number 9, in The Steeple,
Oh.
because I think Back from the Dead is a better song. I do like. The
I was
Steeple.
going to
It's a great
lobby
song.
for the Steeple, but okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
you're gonna
hey,
go-
you still
so-
can.
So what are you going to do? So what are your top two?
My top two would be Down to Fight by the LA Maybe. And man, I think I'll have to put Back from the Dead.
Oh,
The
interesting.
River is Rising was great too, but
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say Down to Fight and The River is Rising, and to decide between
Oh,
the two
wow,
of those
okay.
is completely futile.
So I was going to lobby for Down to Fight and the Steeple. So
Okay,
since we agree on Down to Fight, I mean, Down to Fight is a single that the LA Maybe put out in November, and it just kicks ass and hits you over the head, and it's just
dude, we were
It's so good.
we were so blown
it's
away
so,
by that
it's so
song.
good. It's just so good.
I think we have to give it to him because that's who I think should
Yeah,
win anyway.
they deserve this for that song. LA Maybe, Down to Fight. Congratulations, boys.
Yeah,
Kick ass song. So there you have it.
applause.
Yeah,
Keep the speakers.
yeah.
You gotta play the music when you want them to get off stage too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Dallas and the boys, if you're listening to this, we expect an acceptance speech.
yes.
So please get back to us on that. Thank you. Okay.
All right, moving on.
Moving on. What do you want to do?
Are we gonna leave the gear stuff for later?
Yeah, I think
finish. Okay.
Yeah, I think that let's get through our main awards, and then what we'll
Okay.
do is we'll kind of touch on gear because I want to talk about new gear resolutions.
Okay. All right. So let's move into let's do best show.
Best show.
Want to do best show, or do you want to do best album?
Let's do best show as seen by a guitar dad.
Okay. Man, we are both coughing our way through this. This is great.
Not good. Best show.
Sorry to our listeners.
I know. Best show as seen by a guitar dad. And Dave, are you ready to do the nominees? And the
All right, let's do
nominees
the
are.
nominations.
There's actually a lot of shows we've seen.
I'm going to leave out the last one because
Oh
was
yeah,
2021.
I'm just gonna delete that. It's deleted.
Although I am going to leave in. I'm going to mention. I'll mention it when I get there.
Okay.
So the nominees are for best show seen by a guitar dad in 2022 are Slash, Hailstorm, Joe Bonamassa, Aerosmith, Dirty Honey and Mammoth, Blackberry Smoke. Wasn't just Matt saw them just recently, and we're going to get to that in another pod. And I had seen them. Didn't I see them last summer?
No,
Was it? No, no. That was 2021.
That was 21.
Never mind
Yeah,
then.
that's 21.
So forget about that.
Yep.
And those are the nominees because Rival Sons is on this list, but that was
I
2021.
took it off.
as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. That was. I forgot that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
21. So that's what we've seen.
Oh, this is a top.
So that's. I know. I mean,
list.
these were some shows that we saw this year, man. What a great list of shows. So, I mean, what do you think, Dave? Do you want me to go first? I'll go
Yeah,
first.
you go first.
So, It's a tough one for me. So,
I mean, I think we both know the winner here, but if you really want to just banter on,
well, we talked about Aerosmith being such a special show for both
Yes.
Dave and I. It was at Fenway Park. It was a very special thing to be there. But, if we're honest, it was a little bit something to be desired by the sound and by the just performances in general. So,
Yep.
was that the greatest show we saw this year? I think we can probably take that off the table as no.
yeah, I agree. Sadly, because I'm a massive Aerosmith fan, but yeah,
The rest of these are
doesn't really do it for me.
The rest of these are generally impossible for me to choose. But if I look back and see, the 1-2 punch of Dirty Honey and Mammoth was pretty mind-boggling to Dave and I. I think it was because we expected Dirty Honey to be absolutely incredible, but then Wolfgang got up there and just blew our heads off, both in sound and in
Literally.
just sheer talent. He's a force to be reckoned with, and he proved that to the world when he played the Taylor Hawkins tribute show. And it's like, that just proved what we already knew, that this guy, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree at all, to use a cliche there. But it just does. I mean, it was just an incredible show to see these two incredible bands just kicking ass. We've seen Joe Bonamassa before. He was absolutely on fire that night. So, I mean, for me, those are probably
crazy.
My top two. At the same time, Slash was also, even though Dave and I didn't love the latest album, he did a lot of other material. And I keep saying this, I think Slash is playing better than he's ever played. He just sounds incredible. The band has been together for so long. They're so tight. I'm talking about the Conspirators. Yeah, so it's a tough one for me, but I think if I really had to narrow it down for me, it'd be either Dirty Honey, Mammoth Show, or Bonamassa, just because, the sound, the guitars, the tones, the playing. I mean, it was just everything.
All right, so who are you going to give it to? Got to give it to somebody.
I have to give it a one per. Well, it's probably not.
Gonna have to break somebody's
heart. Probably not a surprise. I'll go with the Dirty Honey Mammoth Show.
Yeah, and I will echo what you said about a lot of the stuff. The Aerosmith kind of didn't really do it for me as much as a fan as I am. It was a very special show, but the sound was not great. Just what we expected at Fenway Park.
Yeah.
Slash, I totally agree with you. His playing is crazy good. It's just a great House of Blues is such a cool venue to see.
It is
a band like that and to be right there watching him play.
To see
and
a
the band
legend
sounded so good.
Yeah, I mean, sorry to interrupt you, Dave, but to see a legend like Slash, where you, especially if you get there a little bit early, like Dave and I did, you can be, we were probably 30 feet away from him. I mean, that's.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's just so
it's
cool.
just so cool to see that, and you can hear his amps too when you're that close to the stage because he's just got them cranked. It's just awesome. It's awesome. So,
but anyway. I will say this: I'm going to agree with you, and we're going to give this to Dirty Honey and Mammoth. But the reason for me is because when we first saw, excuse me, I need to cough.
It's terrible.
Man, let's see if we get through this. When we first saw Dirty Honey open for
the Crows. Oh no, Alter
no,
Bridge.
We first saw Dirty Honey open for Alter Bridge.
Yeah, Alter Bridge.
That was an incredible show. We knew who they were, and they just had that EP out, and so that's all they played, and we were blown away. Then they opened for the Crows, and it was that much better, right? So this show, I think there was so much anticipation to see their own co-headlining show and what they were going to be able to do, and the type of venue it was in, and the
small
sound.
venue.
It was just
sound was fantastic.
Small venue.
Yeah.
Saturday night. I mean, just everything leading up to this. To me, all that kind of makes the show, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we have to give it to them.
And Mark
So
LaBelle.
congratulations, Dirty Honey and Mark LaBelle and the gang.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a note about Dirty Honey. So Mark LaBelle actually said at that gig to basically a sold out room, he said, our agent said, I don't know if you guys should do a co-headline in Boston. I don't know if that's going to work out so well for you. You should do something else like Worcester or something like that, or like Hartford, Connecticut. And he was like, hell no, we're going. And look at us here. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, that was really cool.
But yeah, anyway, congrats to Dirty Honey and Mammoth. There it is. Best show I've seen by a Guitar Dad in 2022. All right. So the final category.
All right, moving on to finally best album of the year. This one's a tough category too.
There's a lot going on here. Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. So just to read out the nominees real quick for Best Album 2022, Patient Number 9, Ozzy Osbourne, Pawns and Kings, Alter Bridge, Planet Zero, Shine Down, Back from the Dead, Hailstorm, Slash and Miles and the Conspirators, 4, Tyler Bryant and the Shakedown, Shake the Roots, Sammy Hagar and the Circle, Crazy Times, and Joanne Shaw Taylor, Nobody's Fool.
Ooh.
Man, what a list.
This is a list.
It's a good list.
This is a list of albums. Hold on. I'm just going to be honest. I haven't listened to all these. I didn't listen to the Shine. I listened to a couple of songs from Shine Down, but I haven't listened to that whole album. But I think,
and I didn't listen to the Tyler Bryant album in full either. So
yeah. In the notes I have,
you were right to put that on the notes.
In our notes I have Tyler Bryant. Did Dave even listen to this?
I think maybe, I guess for in fairness, should we take that? Or do you want to? Or maybe I'm just skipping ahead here. But should we take those two out?
Yeah. Let's take those two out. I mean, look, I wanted to mention them because I think they're like, I listened to the Tyler Bryant. I thought it was great. It Shake the Roots is a great name because you know how Tyler. Those of you that know Tyler Bryant and the Shake, if you don't know them, they're an incredible kind of blues rock band. But this is an album that is more focused on his kind of dobro playing, which is, you could say it's kind of electrified dobro. You those of you that know that style know what I'm talking about, and it's a lot of that kind of stuff, like this rootsy blues, electric blues kind of slide dobro playing. Incredible stuff from Tyler Bryant. If you're into that type of a thing, it's definitely a different sound for them, but that's kind of cool. Like, it's cool for them to make a different kind of album. So I thought it was great. But yeah, Dave, you didn't get a full chance to listen to that. We can take that off. And
no.
I know you like Shine Down. I haven't listened to that whole album either. So.
The Planet Zero album is actually pretty good. It's not, I wouldn't say it's their best by far, but it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think dare I say that 2022 for full albums, if you're going to rate full albums, I don't think 2022 was a great showing for any of these bands.
I'm just going to come out and sit and agree with you. And here's why. I think everybody, had this real had all this downtime, and most of artists released their lockdown albums either at the later half of 2020 or in 2021, because there were some great albums that came out then. And I think, there's definitely some stuff that came out that was great in 2022, which we've listed here. But I kind of agree with you. There wasn't one album that from 2022 that just blew me away, and I just said, hands down, that's just one of the greatest albums ever.
Yeah, I didn't even think the Sammy Hagar in the Circle. I didn't think Crazy Times was that good.
Yeah, I gotta admit I was a little bit underwhelmed by the Sammy Hagar in the Circle album.
And so to hear him recently on Eddie Trunk and some other interviews talking about he's not quite sure, is he wrapping it up? Is he going to call it a career? What's he going to do? To think that he's going to go out with that album, I don't know. I mean, if he'd never admitted that it's not that good. I'm sure he thinks it's unbelievable, and it's good. It's just not.
Crazy Times, the song is pretty good, but yeah,
it is.
I agree with you. It's just not like, yeah,
it doesn't hit that standard.
Yeah, I didn't really connect with it as much, to be honest with you. So I don't know. So what does this bring it down to you then, Dave?
This kind of like Patient Number 9 is great. There's a lot of collabs on there with there's Clapton and Beck and all these guys and Zach, and it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
I mean, Pawns and Kings was good, but I like their last album, Walk the Sky, better.
Yep.
Man, it's just, as we said, 4 from Slash was not that good. Joanne Shaw Taylor's album was fantastic. Hailstorm's record was good. It wasn't unbelievable. This is a tough category for me. I'm just gonna just because of the list, it's the best of this group. I'm gonna give it to Pawns and Kings.
Oh, interesting. Okay, all right. Yeah. See, for me, I agree with you. It wasn't Hailstorm's best, but I think for 2022, it's one of the best albums that came out in 2022.
Oh no, it was.
So I mean, for
but
me,
I think of this list.
I mean, for me, Hailstorm is probably the best one.
All right.
Although I mean, honorable mention.
See, we disagree. This is
good.
Honorable
mention to Joanne Shaw Taylor, which is a different kind of genre. She's pretty much straight ahead blues, but she's an awesome blues. And this was produced by Joe Bonamassa and Josh Smith, and just a great album if you're into blues guys. So I give her an honorable mention. I don't know, Dave. I mean, I don't feel that strongly about Hailstorm. So if we want to give it to Miles and Mark Tremonti, I'm cool with that.
I just think there were some real great moments on that.
There are
on that record.
I mean, the guitar. I mean,
there's some
as a
great,
guitar
there's some
dad
great
band,
guitars.
I mean, you can't really beat the guitar work on that album. So I'm comfortable.
I'm so looking forward to seeing
I'm comfortable.
You want to switch? All right.
I'm comfortable.
I convinced you.
I'll switch over to Alter Bridge. All right, so there it is. Album of the year
There you go.
for the guitar dads. Alter Bridge, Pawns and Kings.
All right. Well, moving on. There it is.
Right, so,
moving on. Shall we get into best gear we purchased, best pedal, or biggest surprise?
Let's talk about let's talk about some things about gear. This will be less of like an award and more of like, let's just talk about gear.
What was the best thing you purchased?
What was the best thing I purchased this year? What did I even buy this year? Well,
you're going to be shocked by mine.
I think
it's not a sexy pick.
I think the best thing I purchased this year is probably my PRS Custom 24. I bought that. I bought that in January 22, and say what you want to say about PRS. It's for lawyers and doctors and all that stuff. I'm not a lawyer or a doctor, but I enjoy the nice guitars, and I picked one of these things up and I do love the flamed out tops. So I got this beautiful 10 top PRS Custom 24, which is just amazing and hands down probably the best gear acquisition I did this year. Did I buy the Princeton in 2022 too, Dave?
You did.
Oh, I did. I had a good gear year. Happy gear year. The Princeton that I bought, I love it. It's it's a Princeton. There's not much you can say about it. It
sounds killer.
Sounds
great.
It's
a Princeton.
I love playing it. Trying to get into a little more like louder, clean sounds. It's great, and then it has that nice breakup. So anyway, but for me, if I really had to choose, it'd be the PRS because that's like a lifetime. That's like a bucket list kind of guitar for me.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I don't know how you couldn't land on that.
Yeah, it's a bucket list guitar for me. What about you, Dave?
My pick is my best gear that I purchased is because we separated the categories into pedal and gear.
Yeah.
Right. So the best like non-pedal purchase that I made this year.
Non-pedal.
I really this is a very unsexy pick, but I'm going to tell you that you were right. I'm going to bow down to you. I'm going to say that you've been telling me to do this for a long time. I had only had one good one and a couple like low end, low grade, cheap kind of ones sitting around, and I'm like, well, how can a better one make a difference in the sound? It can't be that much of a difference. But I took your advice. And I upgraded two of my power supplies to a couple Voodoo Labs, like the other one that I had. And
I knew it was going to go.
The second that I turned the amp on and kicked in some pedals, I was like, okay.
There's no sound. There's no hum.
No, it wasn't even just a hum. The sound was crisper.
Oh, yeah.
You could hear all it was everything. It does make a difference, people. So if you were like me, and you were cheaping out with your power supplies.
Don't cheap out with your power supplies. Jeez. It drives me.
We spend all this money. This is what Matt would say. You spend all this money on these pedals, and then you spend like $50 on a power supply.
Yeah. Oh, JHS puts out a new pedal, $199. Oh, no problem. Won't spend that on a power supply to power like 10 pedals. Like, what the hell's wrong with you people?
It's true.
So anyway, good, Dave. I'm glad you came around to the bright side of things. So
that's my unsexy pick of the year.
Yeah, but a very important pick. So great. Okay.
What about a very important pick.
What about best pedal for the year that you purchased? Because Dave and I are always buying tons of pedals. But I think it's a good category. What's your favorite pedal that you bought this year?
Okay, so this is a hands down. This is an easy one for me. This new series from Walrus.
Oh yeah.
Was it the Mako series, right? This M1, so their modulation pedal, which has chorus and phaser and vibes and It's the thing is loaded. I've been playing around with it so much. I still haven't figured out. I probably have figured out maybe like 10% of what you can do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm having a lot of fun with it. And the thing is just a beast. It's a workhorse. It's just fun. If you're somebody like me that likes to kind of, fool around with a pedal and turn knobs and try out different things and you're ADD like me and you never want to sit and play one thing for more than 5 minutes. This is the pedal for you. But it's definitely in terms of like dialing in some of the presets and getting things the way you like it, and then being able to it's got so much to offer. We went into detail on the podcast when I bought it, so I won't.
Those are great. I mean, they're great pedals,
but they're great.
Yeah, they're great pedals, and it sounds great. And yeah, that's a great pick, Dave. Let's see. I'm looking at my pedal board now. I wasn't prepared for this.
But you made the category.
Did I? Oh, geez. You know what I think I have to go with, just because it's so much fun, is...
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
This one.
I know what you're going to say. Oh, there you go. Okay, that's not what I thought you were going to say.
Dave, take the screen grab of this. Screen grab for Instagram.
Screen grab. What are you holding up?
So
people are just listening.
Is the big ear pedal and Tone Mob slice of pie pedal. This is the what is it? It's a fuzz shaped like a realistic looking slice of pizza. And I'm not a massive fuzz guy. I don't own a lot.
Now, what is that based on a certain circuit, or is that like its own thing?
That's the joke. The slice of pie. Get it? The pie.
It is a. Oh yeah. Oh, dumb. Yeah. Sorry.
So it's based on that, and it just sounds, it's just a straight up awesome sounding fuzz. Which, like I said, I'm not a huge fuzz fan, but just because I haven't played a lot of them, I think. And this is a great one, and it just looks like a delicious slice of pepperoni pizza. I got the pepperoni.
It does. Like you just want to take a bite.
You just want to eat it, and it's like this thing. I mean, how much fun is this? It's incredible. It's an incredible pedal. I love it. I did buy a bunch of other awesome pedals this year too, because we made that trip down to the Guitar Pedal Shoppy, and wait a minute, that was in 21.
That was 2021.
Oh, right. You're right.
That was October of 2021.
That was 21. We got to get back down to the Shoppy.
Doesn't count. Well, when did you buy the Ryra, though? Did you buy the Ryra in 22?
No, I bought that in 21 after we visited.
That was 21. Yeah. Okay.
And then my wife got a couple of pedals for me for Christmas, so that was technically 21. So yeah, so that's probably so that's interesting. In 2022, I didn't really buy a lot of pedals. I bought that one.
Was that the only pedal you bought in 2022?
No. I bought the slice of pie, and I bought.
Yeah. What else? I don't know. Wow. I don't think you did. I think that's it.
Oh, and I think because you bought the amp. No, and I bought the Wampler Moxie.
Oh, you did. That's right. You got the Moxie,
which is awesome, by the way. Yep. Which is awesome. So it wasn't the only pedal I bought, but close. But anyway, the slice of pie.
Close.
Slice of pie is so much fun. So there you go.
Very cool. All right. So there you go, folks. Best gear and best pedal that we purchased. Then
what else, Dave? So what about what else you want to talk about?
We gonna wrap this up?
Well, no.
What do you want to do? You want to do?
Let's do new gear resolutions.
New gear resolutions. Well, I know what yours is.
What's mine?
Because we talked about it before we came on. Well, you're gonna get your new. You're not. Well, I'll let you explain. I don't want to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah. So my
new gear resolution.
Yeah.
My new gear resolution is to slow down on buying gear and to actually play more.
Come on. Everybody always says that. That's lame.
All right, fine. I am in the market for a new fuzz.
Ooh. No, but wait a minute. You're going to sell all your amps and get your dream amp.
First, I'm going to get over
that.
That
almost
cough.
Killed Dave when I said that. He had to cough.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is that could be that could be a goal. Yeah, we'll talk about that on an upcoming pod.
Gear resolution.
That's a deep dive. See, we're going to get Philip on from the 40 Watt podcast. If you haven't checked his podcast out, it's very good.
We were just texting with Philip
40
about
Watt
this,
podcast
about Dave's new gear resolutions.
But we're going to get him on, and we're going to do a deeper dive into this because this is interesting. So we'll get there. But yeah, that is a resolution I could make for this year.
I love that as a new gear resolution.
Let's do it.
But I just dogged you for saying you want to concentrate on playing. it's something to do, and I would recommend everybody
Not as
at
fun.
least take like a month off of like purchasing gear and maybe concentrate on a certain skill or learn a couple of songs and do it. So I mean, I think it's a fun thing to do, and or take like an online lesson or something.
Yes.
Check out Corey Congilio, a friend of ours, a YouTube guy who just has incredible courses on his website. So check him out. I think he's still offering his discount code to our listeners. So that's something you should definitely check out, because you can get a lot out of that stuff and come a long way by just taking a couple of courses, or just like, and I would recommend investing in some of the pay content that the YouTubers provide, because usually what you're getting on YouTube is just a very small snippet of a longer lesson that they offer. That's worthwhile to check that stuff out. So I would recommend it. So there's that. That's a good new gear resolution.
I agree
that's
with
not
that.
gear related, but it's buying something. So that's good. You're stimulating the the guitar economy. So that's good.
That's right.
But yeah, so my new gear resolution is basically my band is getting rolling again. Where it looks like we're going to have shows starting up in the spring and just going all the way through into the fall. We really need to kind of upgrade some of our equipment. As an example, I'm using a wired mic, and I'm a singer in the band, and I don't always play guitar. We have a lead guitar player, so sometimes I like to get out there and run around stage and mix it up with the crowd. So I definitely need to get myself a wireless mic. We need to upgrade our in-ear monitor system, so kind of get a new transmitter and that kind of stuff, and body pack.
Don't drop your wireless mic a la Mark LaBelle of Dirty Honey, like he did at the show we saw back
don't
in
do that.
March.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. He just like came right out of his hand. But no, the wireless mic is such a...
Was it? No, it was the mic stand. He spun the stand.
Oh, and the mic just came flying out of
into
it.
the
That's right. I forgot
crowd.
about that. That's great. Yeah, so yeah, I won't do that. But yeah, I mean, you need to have the wireless mic, and a good one is not cheap. And then the transmitter for in-ear monitors, which I am a disciple of in-ear monitors. We got to upgrade that. So I got to spend a little bit of money on this stuff. So that'll probably stop me from buying expensive gear. I say that now, but eventually.
You say that now. And next year, mark my words, when we do the daddies, we're going to play this clip before we do the daddies.
And you're going to say,
be,
what was your best gear acquisition? I'm not going to tell you it's a wireless mic. But I might. I mean, I don't know. Depends how the gigs go. So there you go.
You could. It's good. It's very true.
So I could.
All right.
Well, but I could not. That's right. So there you have it. There you go.
There you have it. So was that the Daddies 2022?
I think we wrapped up the Daddies for 2022. Yeah.
Wow.
There it is.
All right. Well, we hope you liked what you heard. If you didn't agree with anything that we said, great, perfect. Let us know. Tell us in the comments. Post those comments down below. You're going to see this stuff on Instagram at Guitar Dads Podcast. You're going to see this stuff on our Facebook group at Guitar Dads Podcast over there. So definitely, when you hear something you don't like, tell us. We love the debate.
Yeah,
we love
just
talking
let
about
us
this
have
stuff.
It.
It's
let
fun.
Us have it.
Yeah, lay into us. If we got something completely wrong and missed something, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
We'll talk about it the next podcast.
And
so yeah, no.
Yeah, go ahead.
No hard feelings.
Sorry. You thought I was going to interrupt you again. Sorry.
No, go for it.
And just, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you everybody for continuing to listen to the podcast and support us. We're in this about 2.5 years now, another full year that's in the books. Going into 2022, we feel great about just continuing the podcast because of all of you that are listening, participating in the groups, participating elsewhere on Instagram. So we really appreciate it. It's not lost on us. Please continue to listen and tell your friends and tell everybody you know.
No, and I can tell you that, for avid podcast listeners like Matt and myself and YouTube watchers and all that, before we got into this and you hear the content creator, whoever it was, say those kinds of things and thanking their audience and how much it meant and all that. And sometimes you think, do they really mean it? But listen, when you get in and do this and you start like getting to the bottom of all this stuff and trying to climb your way up, it does mean everything. When you guys, comment on things and like stuff and and post stuff on Instagram, on Facebook, and respond to things, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, whatever it is. It's really cool. And when we see another download go and all that stuff, it means so much to us, and we really love it, and it drives us to do more. So keep giving it to us. We love it, and we really appreciate it. Couldn't say it too much. Thank you.
All right, well, the first episode of 2023 in the books here for Guitar Dads. We'll see you next week.
It's gonna be a good year, people. But for now, that was this week's Guitar Dads podcast.
And as always, keep rock alive. We'll catch you on the flip.